Welcome to this wonderful platform. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across this channel for the first time, you are welcome. Please, if you like what you see here, after watching, subscribe, put on your notification bell. It's very important because it's going to help you to know when I upload a new video. In this channel, I present to you news on daily basis on what is happening in the whole world, especially in Nigeria and in Biafran land. Yes, I'm Mother Biafra. I bring to you Biafran news. So before I do that, what I always do is that I analyze it and I sit down there to watch the video together with you. Then we'll come to the comment section to talk about it. Of course, everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. That is why the comment section is there for you to contribute, leave your ideas, your thoughts, your belief about the videos that you have watched. Please, as we are doing this, let us do it constructively. As we hop into today's video, remain blessed. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate your massive support in this channel. As of
the River Niger, and we hear that people who are not mainstream Igbos, the Igbos in Delta, the Igbos in rivers, they are also saying, look, if there's going to be the zoning of the presidency of Nigeria to the southeast, then those who pay the price permit me to use the word, Igbo subgroups, are also good enough to represent Igbos. But the dilemma here is that people from all the other ethnic groups that we mentioned, they also belong to the South-South. They are not mainstream Igbos. So why is this, big issue about we are also Igbos? Because if the thing goes to Igbo land, we too are part of the Igbos. And if so, who are your favorite candidates, possible candidates from the marginal Igbo groups?
Fine, Ruben. Thank you for having me once again. You made a comment which resonated with me, and that is one of the main reasons why I'm here this morning. You talked about mainstream Igbo. What is that? I don't think there's anything called mainstream Igbo. Because, you see, if we go back a little bit in history, even from the coup that brought, that truncated Nigerians' democracy as far as I'm concerned and put us in the quandary we seem to be in 1966, one of the major participants was a young man called, he was a major, Zogo. He's from Okpanam. Okpanam is just 2 minutes away from Asaba. It's more or less the same place as Asaba, which makes him an Oshimili Igbo person. From that axis, the Anyocha Oshimili area, we speak exactly the same kind of, when I have a discussion with any brother of mine across the Niger, he understands what I'm saying. There might be little fluctuations of one word. We can say shine, they can say rine, and little things like that. But in the main, it is the same dialect, it is the same language. Now, when you look at even the effort of the Biafran war, and I want to talk about personal experience here, you will see that the Oshimili and Nyocha Igbos were even the ones that bore most of the brunt of that war. But in terms of course, the Asaba massacre is known to everybody. I don't think any town, either in the southeast or anywhere in Nigeria, suffered as much as the Asaba people did with the kind of killings and the program that went on in Asaba on that fateful day. Why was that so? If you think those people, the federal troops did not have enough intelligence to tell them that this town was solidly behind the Biafran agitation. My late father was a medical doctor who was practicing in Benin at the time when the Civil War broke out. I was barely 6 years old, my two elder sisters. And my mom is of the Yoruba extraction. She had a choice of taking us to her parents in Ibadan where they were living. But she said, no, wherever my husband is going, I'm going to go with my husband. And they put us in 2 cars and we went across. They went to look for an old friend of his, they were all in Benin, who lived in Oka, Chief Dom Mosu Njikoka, as they called him. And we stayed with him in his house in Oka, and both families became one. And thereafter, we ran from one town to the other throughout the 30 months of the Biafran Civil War. Obviously, if my father did not take us away, possibly I might not even have been here, because the children were killed, women were killed. There is no family in Asaba that did not suffer the loss of one person or the other, a man, woman, or child. Because don't forget, when those federal troops came to Asaba, the idea was that, oh, come and welcome the federal troops, they are here. And they all gathered the people in the open field, and then they opened fire on them. So whenever I hear this talk about Igbo presidency, and people are trying to say there is some subgroup of Igbo or there's mainstream Igbo, it doesn't resonate with me. Because you see, the Anioma people, or rather the Oshimili Aniocha people, will always be shortchanged in Nigeria. Let me tell you a little story. In 1999, when the new democracy started, it was everywhere. It was an open secret that the person that was tipped to be the secretary to the Federation at that time was Chief Philip Asiodu. He is my godfather, he's my uncle, he took me into government. We all know his antecedents, super palmsec, very cerebral and everything. He's one of the custodians of Nigerian history and political economy and everything. And he was supposed to be the secretary to the government of of Nigeria at that time. And just before the announcement was made, they decided that, oh no, since a Southeasterner, an Igbo man, was going to be number 3, that is the Senate president, the Wazobia thing. There was going to be a president from the West, a vice president from the North, and the Senate president from the East, as it were, who was an Igbo man. Now, they refused to make it. He was not confirmed as the SGF anymore, which was supposed to be like number 6 or whatever in the hierarchy, because he was an Igbo man. So at that time, he conveniently lost that position because he was Igbo. But they didn't remember that he was also South-South, because the whole idea, they said they had to look for a true South-South Nigerian, and that's how Ufo Tekaite was made the secretary to the government. So you see, when it's convenient, we are not Igbos. When it's convenient, we are South-South. When it's convenient, we are not South-South. When it's not convenient, we are not Igbos. So you see, they can't keep picking and choosing for us all the time. And it is particularly heart-wrenching when I see, hey, we know how Nigeria works. Whether an Igbo man will be president, only God knows. Personally, I want to see that happen, even if you say yes, the Igbos from the Southeast, have not enjoyed it at this time. But also the Igbos from Aniocha Oshimili, who have a skin in the game and who have suffered everything the Igbo man from across the Niger has suffered, has also never been. Don't forget that when Midwest was a region, the first premier, that is the only region that was even created by a referendum in Nigeria, when there were just 4 regions in Nigeria. The first premier was Chief Dennis Osadibe. Yes, he was from Asaba, and he was the premier of Midwest State. Midwest region, rather. So what I'm saying is that we never lacked the manpower, the capacity of human beings, or that human capital that can deliver on that kind of mandate as the president of Nigeria. So to keep shutting the door at us, using all these, little colorations that are always brought into the matter, you are South-South now, you are not Igbo now, you are not mainstream Igbo, it just doesn't make sense to me. That is the truth.
But what about those who shut the door against themselves? You have prominent politicians in this country who switch hats depending on which way the wind is blowing. They also choose to be South-South one day and, Southeast the next day. I'd like you to address that. And who in Aniocha Oshimili are you thinking of? Are you also throwing your hat in the ring? Because we've had like a series of guests of late using this platform to make, declarations here.
I want to tell you something. I am not interested in politics at all, not even about being president of Nigeria. I've left that field, because what you just said to do doesn't make sense to me as a person. We can't keep shifting the goalpost when this game is being played. And that is all that goes on in Nigeria. And that is because the polity, I keep saying, is devoid of any kind of ideology. So people just use these political platforms as platforms to try and hijack power for themselves and their friends and their families and whatever they do and all of that. So that does not interest me at all. I just want to put the record straight in terms of what it is we are doing as a country. You see, there are too many injustices in Nigeria already that we are complaining about. I, as an Igbo man, am complaining that an Igbo man has not been president. So while I'm complaining about that and feeling, a little bit shortchanged there, not because an Igbo man being president is going to make it any better for me, because you see, I'm a pan-Nigerian by my birth and by the kind of life I've lived. I'm one of the few Nigerians that can tell you, right, Tundu, that I am from every part of Nigeria. My mother is from Kogi State, a town called Ogori, but she is of Yoruba ethnic stock. So that makes her a Southwesterner and also a Northerner. My father is from Asaba, but he is Igbo, and that is what we are talking about here. That makes me come from the South-South as a geopolitical zone and an Igbo man. So what I'm trying to say is simple. Whatever we do, let us just be true to ourselves. Because if we keep shifting these goalposts just to favor, our own selfish interest at that time, then it will always come back to haunt us. And that is why the problem is like this. That is why the problem with political leadership in Nigeria is intractable. And that is why we must get to a point where it has to just be about meritocracy. When your father was ran for the presidency of Nigeria, who remembered where he came from? He united the whole country, and everybody voted for him. That is the kind of Nigeria we're looking forward to having. When Obasanjo was president, even his own people from Southwest did not want him, but he was made president of Nigeria by everybody else in Nigeria. Now some people even come on TV and tell us that the Igbos are constantly against themselves, which is beginning to look like, because here I am, an Igbo man, and I'm shouting that, yes, you can't keep saying to us that we are not Igbos. They say we should reach out to other ethnic groups and all of that. Even other ethnic groups, nobody, that is one of the biggest lies they keep selling in Nigeria. No ethnic group is heterogeneous in its thinking and all of that. In fact, most politicians, I can assure you, if you look at the political trajectory of Nigeria, their greatest traducers have always been the ones from their villages, from their towns, and from their states. It's not even the ones from other places. So what are we saying?
Okay, you meant homogeneous in their thinking, not heterogeneous, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, just like the argument that the North have had a lot of Nigerian presidents, yet the North still remains very poor and very, very devoid of development. Let me use that word. But I want to talk about that point you raised, because everybody says that. We had Kashim here, Alhaji Kashim here in the course of the week, I think. He said the same thing, that the Igbos don't reach out, they're not doing deals. I even remember of blessed memories, of blessed memory, I should say, Issa Funtua was here too, and he said the same. They're not going.
I can't hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Better now.
Good. I said we had Alhaji Kashim here. It said the same thing, that the Igbos don't reach out.
Okay.
Secondly, I remember Issa Funtua of blessed memory said the same thing while he was here. I think the last interview he granted before he passed was on Arise. I think it was January, maybe last year or thereabout. He said the same thing. No, we're not reaching out to do deals. How best can you do that deal? How best can you reach out? Can an average Igbo man reach out and do that deal across other parts of the country?
Well, Alhaji Kashim is my personal friend. I know him very well. And he is, even by virtue of his own upbringing and the life he's led, he's what you can call a pan-Nigerian. He went to King's College, so he has friends. He's just like the former Emir of Kano, These are, as young men, they were in Lagos and all of that. Maybe the Yaraduas as well, when their father was the Minister of Lagos Affairs and all of that. So there are a lot of cosmopolitan Northerners everywhere. Same thing with Igbo people and same thing with Yoruba people. And same thing with every other ethnic group, whether it's Shekiri, whether Urubu, whether, they're all like that. So when anybody comes and says the Igbos are not reaching out, it cannot be true. You see, there are different kinds of Igbo people, there are different kinds of Yoruba people, there are different kinds of Northerners and all of that. So if you have an Igbo man who obviously, just like Babangida said, you must have a friend everywhere, that is insular in his own upbringing, and he wasn't privileged by the schools he went to mix early in life with people from other parts of Nigeria. It will come up that way. But I can assure you that for every Yoruba man or every Northerner that comes up with a cosmopolitan Nigerian candidate that can reach out to all of Nigeria, there will always be an Igbo man that can do that as well. It's about getting the right person that will also fit that bill. Although right now in Nigeria, if you ask me, and that's why I'm thinking that once we can get over this hurdle of ethnicity, maybe that is why it's important that an Igbo person, should be the next president. And after that, maybe then that way we know that everybody, it has satisfied the whole country. Then we now start going for strictly meritocracy. Because the problems and the challenges confronting Nigeria now are much beyond this idea of where you come from or where you don't come from. We need competent people, people that are versed in economics, people that are versed in human management, and people that are versed in world affairs and, that can manage this country. Otherwise, even with all this talk we are talking about 2023, some of us still have our secret fears. If this country continues to go the way it's going, will we even make it to 2023? That is the problem. Or that is a question that should be asked.
Well, Chike, good point you've made there about meritocracy. Other people agree with you. But there are others who are saying, look, we should focus on rotational presidency. Let it go round first before we begin to talk about merit. And if it's about merit, there are people of merit in every ethnic group in Nigeria.
That's right.
However, you made a good point also about the Asaba involvement in the Biafran War. My favorite books on that, The Asaba Massacre by Elizabeth S. Bird, who also wrote Niger Wife, and also the book by Emma Okocha,
Blood on the Niger.
Emmanuel Okocha, Blood on the Niger. I remember those books as you gave that story. But the issue with regard to Igbo presidency is that people from other places are not Igbo enough. They even say the kind of Igbo that you guys, from the subnational Igbo groups speak is not Igbo.
Yeah, using that word again.
So how do you deal with that? Because the mainstream Igbo, I don't think they will ever accept.
Like that. That's why I'm here today. There's nothing like mainstream Igbo. We are all Igbos. I'm sorry. And anybody that comes here to tell you that is lying to you. We are all Igbos. I'm as Igbo as any other Igbo man in Nigeria.
Okay, we've moved from ethnicity now. We're dealing with identity politics. Yeah. Because this is about identity. Who is the true Igbo? Maybe somebody else will still come and challenge some of your points. But I wanted to ask you, I asked you to maybe perhaps identify persons of merit from the Aniocha Oshimili wing that you think, can lead Nigeria. Maybe you have some names at the back of your mind, and maybe you also like to comment on what kickstarted the whole of this conversation. The front page story by this day newspaper containing 31 names of possible presidential candidates of Nigeria. I'm sure you saw that.
Well, in the case of the Aniocha Oshimili one, the truth is this. There are a few of people out there in the political space because you don't want, right from my father's generation, like I said, we have some of the best Nigerians ever. From Chief Osadebe through to Justice Idigbe, to Justice Uche Omo, to the different medical physicians, Japhet Azinge, Nicholas Azinge, Olisa Chukura, SAN. We have some of the finest Nigerians. They were all academicians. They were all professionals of different hue and all of that. But the truth is that for you to want to lead, it's not just about being an accomplished person. That's not what leadership is about. You have to come out to say you want to lead. So in what we are talking about, the only person I can think of from the top of my heart, from the Anyocha Oshimiri axis, that has been very active in this political space and has been talking about leading Nigeria, and he is very capable of leading Nigeria. I might not believe in his politics, whatever his politics is, but in terms of capacity, he's one of the best you can find, is somebody like Patu Tommy. Definitely he's out there. But you see, there are so many others I know, so many other young men of that kind of age group of between maybe 65 to 55 that I know that are from that axis, but none of them have ever come out to say they want to lead. So calling their names and all of that would just be an exercise in futility. And then if we go back to what you talked about, which is the This Day publication that looked at Nigerians generally and thought about it. Yes, there was no doubt. There's a lot of merit in that list I saw, But the truth is, yes, we all want a Nigerian that is 60 or 65, or we say anybody over 65 is too old by 2023 and all of that. That's fine. But we also know that it's not just about age. And the kind of problems we have in Nigeria now might need a lot of experience to be able to navigate out of it. You see, what they're talking about, this age thing, it's a situation where, as they say in those days when we used to do chemistry, was under normal temperature and pressure. But Nigeria is not that today at all. So if you ask me, the kind of people I am looking at that can give good leadership in Nigeria from wherever they come from, and that have the structures on the ground, because what we are talking about, the election is barely 2 years away, and we know how expensive and how how diverse Nigeria is. There is no abracadabra you are going to do with a new candidate today and all of that. The young man that was in CBN has really impressed me because he has also shown that he wants it, and I can tell he has the capacity. So that's Kingsley Moghalu. I don't care where he comes from. He seems a good candidate. Whether we like it or not, the two Trojan horses we have in Nigerian politics as we speak today, Bola Tinubu and Atiku Abubakar, irrespective of their ages, can never be discounted when you talk about leadership in 2023. So that's the kind of thing we should look at. Yes, there are young, upcoming talent here and there. My very good friend Tunde Fashola, any day, with the kind of experiences. This is somebody I'm sure who never thought about going into government for one day. But see what he has made out of, his time in governance.
Chike, I'm your friend. You have not mentioned my name.
Of course.
You have not mentioned my name.
There is the Erotimi Amechi who's...
Thank you for always watching Linda's TV show. I will see you again in my next video. Remain blessed. I appreciate each and every one of you, and keep on watching Linda's TV show. If you have not yet subscribed, please, I beg you to do that so that you'll be getting more updates from me. Bye-bye.